Hey girl, welcome back to another episode of the Sunday Paper Podcast. As always, I'm your host Bree, and I'm super excited about today's episode. If you haven't already noticed, our sound quality sounds better, and if you're watching a video of this, that means that you've seen that we've unlocked a new feature for our podcast episodes. And the honest part is that nothing has been blocked. It's been me holding myself back this entire time. I have filmed videos for our podcast episodes before and not posted them. I have sat on them so long that the film has gotten corrupted, okay? And I couldn't even utilize them when I actually said, let me post them. So I figured this would be a great segue into our videos to talk about today's topic, which is no longer hiding, really showing up for yourself, no longer making those excuses. So as always, welcome. I'm so happy you're here and super excited to get into today's episode. Again, we'll be talking about no longer hiding, showing up for ourselves, and we'll be talking about the solutions to actually showing up and why we need to show up. What happens when we actually do show up and having the faith to do so. So let's get into today's episode. Remember the game hide and seek growing up and how we would all literally take our time to hide ourselves? We'd hide under beds, tables, whatever we could find to where someone would not see us, we would do it. And it actually would pay off. But now this is your real life. This is you all grown up and you deserve to show up. There's no more room or time for you hiding, okay? Nothing's going to come find you. And I've recently come to that realization. Nothing is going to come find me. I literally have to get up and show up so that the right opportunities, the right people, the right places can find me. If not, they will never know that I exist. They'll never know where I am, and those things actually won't even be able to prosper the way that they're supposed to because I am not following through. I'm not showing up. So I really have spent so much time away from this space because there are things that I want to share. There are things that I believe God is asking me to share that terrify me because I'm too busy deciding what other people are going to say about it. I'm too busy fearful of the perception, the potential judgment that people have or what people may say, instead of focusing on the fact that not only does that mean I'm showing up for me and it's a way of healing and processing and growing and evolving for myself, but it also helps other people. When we share, when we're vulnerable, it does help. Being vulnerable is a superpower that I just so happen to have. So I have to stop being afraid of who I am. I know it's scary. I know it's overwhelming, but you have to stop being afraid. So the reason I want to talk about no longer hiding today is because I know I'm not the only one. I know I'm not the only one still acting as though I am that kid who, or even that adult who has been through things. People have treated me a certain way. People have put me down. People have hurt me. People have rejected me. I've experienced so many things that I just want to protect myself now. So anything that requires me to have big, crazy faith and believe that it's going to work out, believe that me being myself is not going to be ridiculed the way it has in the past, it terrifies me. So I want to hide. I'm still looking for those tables to hide underneath. I'm hoping that as I'm hiding, no one is able to notice my scent or my clothes or my shoes. But the reality is you are so bright and so amazing and so brilliant and so talented and so needed that there's only so much hiding you can do. That's the crazy thing. There's only so much hiding that you can do. And it's so important that you allow yourself to stop believing that you hiding makes the world a better place. It does not. You showing up is what makes your world and other people's world 10 times better. So I had this thing recently where I was thinking, well, maybe I can just kind of halfway show up to what God is asking me to do. Maybe I can just share a little bit. Maybe I can not put my face to these podcast episodes. Maybe someone would never find out that the Sunday Paper Podcast is hosted by Brianna Kilgore, who has been through this, that, and the other. I have been so fearful of it because I'm like, Lord, there are things that I want in life. I want certain opportunities. I want a certain partner, romantically. I want certain friends. I want a village. I want a community of a life. I want my life to feel so full and so abundant. And I'm terrified because I have tried this already. I've tried to show up. I've tried to be that great person. I've tried to be bold, and I've done it, and have had some hurtful things happen that have put me in a position to feel like shrinking makes more sense, and it makes no sense at all. Because when we hide, like I said, it's not going to come find you. So that husband, he's not going to know who I am. Those friends, they're not going to know. And what I've noticed is some things will come try to find you, and it'll be those things, those people, those places, those opportunities that don't align with who you are in your best self. And that has been the gag of it all for me, is I'm thinking that, you know what, it's okay if I don't share this week. It's okay if I don't show up. It's okay for me to make these excuses, because at least I'm protecting myself. Like, I don't have time to be concerned with other people getting what they need. I have to protect myself. But the reality is, you being yourself and having faith takes you taking that need for control off. You have to take your hands off of the control button. So that's what we're doing today, and I'm so excited to get more into this, because I feel like it's so important, it's so needed, and I know I'm not the only one that keeps hiding, hoping that somehow that changes my life. It will not. So let's talk about it. The truth is, I've mastered hiding. I've mastered playing small, not because I don't want to be who I am, but because at least I have control over shrinking. I have control over showing up much smaller than I actually am. I have control of hiding underneath that table or that desk, just like we did when we were kids playing hide and seek. But the reality is, it does not benefit my life at all. It doesn't change my life. It doesn't put me in the right positions. And the issue with hiding is that, as I said before, what is truly for us cannot show up and find us. So your experiences continue to be less than what they should be, and it only feeds into that narrative in your head of, well, that just means I don't deserve it, I'm not good enough, I'm not smart enough. There has been the most silliest things, now that I'm about to say them out loud, they sound so silly and so just beneath what I should be thinking of myself. But I have not shown up in this space with a video, and sometimes I'm afraid to share my podcast episodes because I'm like, a man wouldn't like that, or I'm like, I don't have that look that you see a lot of people have when they get on camera, and those people that go viral on social media, those people that people take in well. I'm like, I don't have that look. I don't. There's a certain way I carry myself that I know is so rare, which makes it so beautiful, and ultimately, that I'm afraid to put that out there sometimes, because I'm so afraid of what the wrong person will think. But the reality is, we've got to zoom in and focus on what the right people will think. So I know you're afraid. I'm afraid too. Our feelings are valid, but they are not factual. They should not have nearly as much control as we allow them to operate us in, as we allow ourselves to operate in with them. So it's time to move forward. I know you're afraid of what people are going to think of you when you let them know, hey, I'm going back to school. Even though you've tried it a few times and it didn't work the first few times, it's going to work this time. You cannot be nervous about what someone else is going to say about what God told you to do. I know the last time you put yourself out there for dating, it didn't go well. You settled, you accepted breadcrumbs. I did too, sis. We don't have to do that anymore. I know that the last time you tried to make new friends, you showing up boldly, beautiful, carrying yourself well, dressing well, being cute, that brought on envy. But this time it's not, because you're going to be confident enough to pay attention to what people are, because you're going to be paying attention to who you truly are. You're going to be operating in your best self. I know that people have rejected you and judged who you really are when you've tried to show up, when you've tried to be confident and be your best self. People have rejected that. They've doubted you. They've counted you out. They've said that you're not cute enough, you're not good enough, you're not intelligent enough, you don't have the qualifications. But the reality is, that thing that is on your heart to show up for, which is ultimately you, is on your heart for a reason. And it's time to actually show up for who she is. It's time to actually go do those things that you said that you were going to do. So that's what I'm doing today. I did my hair, I did my makeup, I even got my nails done to show up in this space. Now, it doesn't mean that you have to go do all of that, but I know that that's what it took for me. So I put in the work to do it. And I think that it's so important to have a plan too. I think that us having a game plan of like, this is how I'm going to show up, here are the first few steps that I'm going to do and why I'm going to do it, I think that helps. So let's talk about what some of those solutions may look like for you to stop hiding, to stop playing hide and seek with your best life. Some of those solutions may look like just utilizing what you already have. I do not have any high-tech equipment in here. Yes, I have this little podcast mic now, but I got this from Target for $20, okay? I use my iPad to record my podcast episodes, and I'm utilizing the camera that I have for my photography business to film this video, and I'm going to use a computer that I already have as well. I'm not going to go purchase anything, and I'm not going to keep making the excuse of, well, I need to have longer hair to show up on film. These are the type of things that I truly think about myself sometimes, is I do not have that grown and sexy look, so I may not be as appealing to people. People may not want to hear what I have to say. They may not want to tune into my videos. Maybe I'm not pretty enough, but the reality is, those are all just things that fear says to us. And I think, again, as valid as fear can be, that feeling of fear of I'm afraid, I think sometimes we have to lean into that fear. So utilize what you already have, lean into that fear, and also continue no matter what. Keep going no matter what. Show up no matter what. Yes, you can have your days where you pause. Every day, when you look at what consistency really is, what I've learned is it's just showing up every day. Consistency is showing up every day. I'm not going to have 100% to give every day, but even when I only have 5%, I'm going to give that full 5%. That's consistency to me. That's showing up when it comes to what I do. So I hope that this is such a reminder and such an empowerment moment for you to show up, to stop hiding, get from underneath that table, take the mask off, take the weights off, and show up as who you truly are, because the world needs who you truly are. You need who you truly are. You've been operating in such a small way, and I know you've mastered it. I know it's become like nothing for you to do, but it's time to try something new, and it's time to truly be who you are. And before you go, I want to remind you that you've already started. Because you are here and you're still alive, you're still well, that thing is still in your heart. That lets you know that you're more than capable, that you don't lack anything, and you need to start with where you are and what you currently have. Utilize this current season, maximize this current season with starting with what you have. And I want to go a little bit deeper with that too. I was going to keep this short and cute and sweet because I'm like, I don't know what the editing process will be like for this, and that's me still trying to shrink. I'm still trying to keep this as simple as possible and act like this isn't a big deal to get on here and do this, but it is a big deal. And what you want to do with your life is a big deal. There's nothing small about you. There's nothing small about your purpose, your worth, and the things that God has attached to your name in your life. Nothing small about it. So it's time to stop shrinking. It's time to stop acting like it is small. It's time to stop playing small. We're not playing games anymore. This is not recess. This is your real life. This is real. Who you are is real. Your beauty is real. Your strength is real. Your calling is real. Everything that you know about yourself, you're not hallucinating. It's for real. But I say all that to say that for me, the last few years have been especially hard because I have experienced heartbreak in a way that I never thought would happen in my life. I experienced heartbreak over the last few years in a way that it's like I used to view myself as this great person. I used to have such a light to myself, such a value, but I could really see my own light. I was more confident in my light before this heartbreak took place. And although it has shaped me, and I'm getting back there, I'm putting the pieces back together, that heartbreak was like someone taking a bat to my light and just pieces just blew everywhere. It's like someone blew up my world about 4 years ago, and it hasn't stopped since then. I have dealt with the same person in the same situation so much that I've been jerked around. Me showing up as my best self, loving on that person and being who I am, and being the honest person I am, being the pure person I am, being the solid woman of God that I am, it was not accepted. And it made me feel like perhaps I should be different. Maybe there's a way that I have to be. Maybe I need to have a harder exterior. Maybe I need to dress a certain way. Maybe I need to dress with less clothes. Maybe I need to wear my hair in a different style more often. Maybe I need to wear more makeup. Maybe I need to lead a different lifestyle, and maybe people will accept me more. But the reality is, when we shrink, and maybe you're not even just playing small, but maybe you're just trying so hard to be someone that you are not, because who you really are has been through so much. She has been counted out. She's been stepped down. She's been walked all over. And I can understand that. I can empathize deeply because I've been there. I think it's so important for you to rise up to who you really are. And that doesn't have to have anything to do with anyone else. It has nothing to do with the desire to be accepted. So I want to leave you with letting go of that desire to be accepted and chosen by people. Letting go of that desire for somebody to say, Bree's got it. You know, if nobody says anything, you have to still go for it and be yourself. You have to still show up for yourself. You still have to stop hiding today. If I'm the only person who reminds you today that you're worth showing up for your life, please do it. Please let me be the one reminder. But if no one else tells you, you are so great. You're so beautiful. You're so powerful. And there's something within you that is desiring to come out. And you've already gotten started. For me, I've already shown up in this space. Before I filmed this video today and this episode today on my iPad, I had already shared in this space so much. My podcast goes all the way back to 2019, I believe. 2019 or 18. And I have been sharing deep, profound, vulnerable, raw things since then. So it's like someone out there has already heard a lot of my life shared. And over the years, I let what I go through, I let what people who don't understand me, people who are not even operating in who they really are, tell me who I am and shrink me down. And I get back underneath that table. So I am getting out from underneath that table once and for all. And yes, I am the girl who had a pregnancy loss 7 months ago with my ex. Yes, I am the girl who once had a shopping problem. You can listen to that episode way back when I first started my podcast. Yes, I am that girl who has sometimes felt like maybe I don't need to be here. Maybe I don't have any purpose. Maybe my presence is not good enough to inhabit the world, you know. Yes, I am that girl who has lacked confidence. I am that girl who has been rejected. I am that girl who has shown up in the wrong places and tried so hard to be accepted by all the wrong people and things. But now I am that girl who's getting up from underneath that table. And I'm calling me out and I'm calling you out because we deserve to get up. We deserve to step into what God created us to do, okay? So it's not about how you look. It's not about how you sound. It's about just you being yourself. Have so much faith and confidence in, if I'm showing up as me every day, I cannot lose. If I'm trusting God every day, I cannot lose. So let this be your reminder. Let this be your moment. Take time even after watching this episode, listening to this episode, whichever way you are. Maybe it's both. Whatever it may be for you, take some time and decide what you're going to do next. For me, it was, Bree, we are not procrastinating any longer on filming these videos with these podcast episodes. We are not leaving this space of the Sunday paper and Sunday & Co dry any longer. It's time to get up. It's time to follow through on sharing your story. You shared these deep things. You shared such vulnerability that the average person isn't going to share, and you keep pulling back on it. And it's time to just be consistent in doing so that you can have some even better things to share, and so that those right things can find you, that husband can find you, those friends can find you, those opportunities can find you. But as long as you're hiding, nobody will know. And you're doing such a disservice to yourself and your worth and your value and what you have to offer. So I encourage you, show up today. Write it out. For me, like I said, it's showing up and making this video. This may seem simple, but this is so much for me because I'm terrified of what my mouth looks like. I'm terrified of what my hair looks like. I'm terrified of what someone is watching this and thinking. I'm terrified of what someone's going to think of my voice. These are all things that people have been cruel to me about. People have come at me for, and it's hurt me and it's put me in a position to internalize that and think that that must be the truth about me. But I want to remind you of the actual truth about yourself today that has nothing to do with what other people say. It's what you say, it's what you believe, and it's what God has said from the beginning about you. From the beginning, way before social media existed, way before that boy broke your heart, way before that idea didn't work, way before you dropped out of school, you were worthy. Okay, so you're going to finish. You're going to do this. And I'm so excited for you. I'm so excited for us. I'm so excited for you and I to step up and go all in with this. Another way that I plan on no longer hiding is I absolutely love creating organic content. I absolutely love helping people with their style. As you know, I've shared I have the Sundaye & Co space, but I also have Creative with Bree Photography. A little bit before the pandemic happened, I was offering styling services. I have in the past a couple of times, and I want to get back into that. So after I make this video, I'll be making more videos too regarding, little simple outfit of the days and just styling tips and really putting myself out there, applying myself. So I hope that you'll do the same, whatever that looks like for you, whatever it is. I'm rooting for you, and I hope that this is your solid reminder. It's time to get up. Okay, so I'm done hiding, and I think that you should be done too. And you know what? Let's meet back here in a couple weeks and see what we've accomplished together. Thanks so much for tuning in.